looks like we're going to be getting the buffed Orisa on defense, not with a Torbjorn. It's just about setting up for a Widowmaker headshot, as we could be seeing Widowmaker on both sides. Taimou opening on Widow is something everyone demands. So we'll have to wait and see what that is. This is very different from X6-Gaming. So you see basically Orisa as a Reinhardt substitute, not the projected barrier has a much shorter cooldown. Taimou looking for the flick. He's going to find a barrier.
He most certainly is, and they knew that that was going to happen. Head straight back in to the hangar to switch over.
GodsB needs to hit the shot. He has already. He's at 32% charge. That's a start. Taimou actually going to see the team being very defensive. Effect trying to harass people out, but Orisa's so good at controlling space. Might have lost damage on the left click, but such a big clip of ammo. That's so hard to get through this barrier with the short cooldown.
Yeah, look at that. Immediately replaced there as well as Effect's trying to get that one down.
Widowmaker's forced to drop. That could be big.
Yeah, healed by the Mercy though, who can fly back, but Taimou, he's harassing as well. It's like you've got two Effects now with how incredibly mobile this Sombra is. TimeBoy takes down Effect, so make that just one. As now GodsB still looking for the snipes, goes down very, very low. As Taimou should be able to take him out, but no, he's still got that Mercy in his pocket. The hack does come in though, as EnVyUs on the attack. Should be able to grab some extra points, but no, I speak too soon. NoSmite grabs one, make that two as HarryHook falls as well as Cocco.
The fight's still not over, so EMP will be up soon, and the run back is shorter. So the fact that still there's enough from X6 will be something. Taimou will just stay long, deep in point B, trying to catch the Mercy as she runs back.
Yeah, gets himself into this hole though, right on the point. He's being frustrating. But EnVyUs, the rest of the team, not quite here just yet. GodsB committing to this Widowmaker yet again. Had an opportunity to change back over, but Taimou does get the hack down. He's going to be taken out though. NoSmite just doing a great job peeling for this Widow. Looks like massive team play coming out for X6. Pulse Bomb comes down, doesn't quite find the mark, but ChoiHyoBin eventually falls. It's not quite enough damage to take him. Just one go, it is eventually taken out. Effect now stuck in this pit.
GILY and NoSmite trying to buy time, but they're probably going to have to back away soon unless they can pick up some more kills. GodsB still alive, but there's only so much you can do on Widowmaker. Drops down, and NoSmite might have done it.
Yep, Taimou does fall down, but he does get GodsB at least in the end. That's still positive trades for X6, as NoSmite's really just bull by the horns, Pop Smithy this time.
And Chips has been dominated every time he's tried to attempt the point. We're 1 minute 40 away from a full hold, and Chips is only now ticking up to his first ultimate of the game. The Transcendence hasn't been enough, been sniped so much, and even though GodsB went down twice where he was the crown jewel, it hasn't meant for much, as comes in stealth, now is shown. EMP available for Taimou.
He can utilize that when he wants.
Transcendence already used, forced out of Chips.
Translocator's up as well, does get up here, throws down the EMP, and Mickie picks up that first kill onto NoSmite. No barriers, of course, available, so it was easy pickings. And Taimou grabs GILY as well. This could be the opportunities. BeBe gets the res on two. That's going to even out the score. Massive double with the self-destruct. And EnVyUs say that they don't mind. Effect, in fact, celebratorily kills himself. It's because they think that they've got this point. It's ticked at least past the first, and BeBe's going to fall down. This should be it for EnVyUs.
And they drop down just because they understand the point will be given up here and they want to reset on point B. It's a good time to die if you are the Mercy and Soldier in that spot, but still a good delay. They actually took away 3 minutes 20 of the bank. Only 4 minutes 40 left here for EnVyUs on the second point. They've got part of the Talon comp, but no sign of the Reaper yet. And we saw that pre-match highlight of back when HarryHook was on Reaper duty in previous seasons. Somehow I think he's going to stick on Lucio, as he's actually picked and taken down by TimeBoy on this first attack.
Unfortunately, he does have that
look at that tracking. That was beautiful, Atlas.
It certainly was. GodsB's going to be taken out there as Effect recalls, gets all of his health back and should be fine. Barry is here to try and buy some defense, but TimeBoy finds Taimou in the backline for himself. X6 doing well at the same time.
Effect is so damn good at tracking on Tracer. Takes down the unsuspecting GodsB on McCree in one rotation. GodsB couldn't even look to throw a flashbang, was already dead. Stays alive after poking in the backline. Predictably has probably his 4,000th pulse bomb of the series so far. We're only on map 3.
Are you sure Effect didn't use attack visor, Papa Smithy?
I know the time he used the EMP.
He most certainly did. No barriers there available now, but he does get slapped. Oh no, that's Effect. Transcendence does come down as EnVyUs are using everything to try and get amongst this sound barrier there as well. Could have been staggered a little bit better potentially, and X6 are holding on. HarryHook does get the kill onto the Winston, and TimeBoy's going down low. Self-destruct is in there, buying space for X6.
So close to perfection on the EMP, but ended up trading overall rather than getting enough kills. Specifically the sound barrier. GILY did not die, got low, finally popped the sound barrier to keep 4 alive, and then we're nowhere near the respawns being shortened by it being overtime. So the respawns came in. The respawner's advantage on Temple of Anubis has been complained about on Reddit so many times. Came into full effect there. They can reset, but EnVyUs is so close to a snowball capture.
Yeah, Taimou does have another EMP though. It's sort of the standard Sombra thing, but after a fight, gonna have that one right back up again as effect. Relegated to frontline duty here for the moment, gets himself in the back now. We'll see whether he is going to have Taimou there to help out, and he gets the pick onto GodsB as well, so good start. Now he's looking for it, does have the invisibility, but holds on to that EMP. Pulse Bomb softens up that mech and does eventually get the kill onto it as well with the help of Taimou. TimeBoy here as well, he's going to fall down. Taimou doing a heck of a lot of work on this. Sombra still has the EMP as he goes invisible now, looking for a target. Massive triple with the self-destruct!
Gonna get a lot of percentage here, at least 1 checkpoint now, as the respawns are gonna be considerable. Finally coming in from X6, that's 2 checkpoints. Can anyone even get on the point?
How did he even do that without an EMP to help out, Papa Smithy? That was amazing. Hacks are coming in now from Taimou. He throws out the EMP because he thinks that he wasn't even gonna have to use it. And that is gonna be the cap on Temple of Anubis for EnVyUs.
Feels like we're harkening back to Mickie coming in Season 1 after Tailspin left the team and getting so many kills on the D.Va before D.Va was kind of found out. It felt like for a couple of weeks their self-destruct was casually picking up triples left, right, and center. But Mickie seemed to catch people unawares, didn't have the exact observation that hopefully we get a play of the game or a replay of that to see where exactly it was launched. But man, it got a lot of value getting both supports and the DPS as well. That's the sort of game-winning play after X6 was so disciplined with their very innovative Widowmaker focus comp. You know, going for the Widowmaker with the Orisa and then a bit of dive as well. It's not a comp we've seen before, but one trying to take advantage of the Orisa buffs. Full completion is there. 1 minute 47 is on a massive time ban, but given how many times we've seen Temple of Anubis either not be full captured or captured in overtime, you'll take what you can get. As here's the replay. So they sees the support, jams it down low. You get to see it a second time. So jams it down low. They tried to back away, but they just weren't in position.
Oh, wow. And actually thinking that backing into the spawn doorway was going to be enough,
nope.
But it stopped next to that pillar, and that means that you are dead.
Hooray for burst damage, right? Doesn't matter. The moment that you're in line of sight there. They'll feel hard done by to X6, but they have to shake it off because they got 2 points to capture. As EnVyUs, surprising. Remember, they only had 440 when they approached that second point, so less than 3 minutes to capture point B on Temple of Anubis when you don't get it on first attempt. Should be complimented.
Yeah, it feels good as Taimou just wants to hack this so badly.
I mean, the timing is actually really relevant. We've seen a lot of creative hacking where you, as the enemies spawn, hack on the right side and then translocate her over to second to either kind of cut your losses between if the enemy chooses to go left or right, or full capture one. As GodsB's opening on the Widowmaker again.
Yeah, it's going to be a warning shot right into the D.Va.
Effect one, predictably, the Tracer battle.
Yeah, he just gets better and better as the series progresses.
It's a fine wine, Atlas.
Oh, yes. He is certainly Barossa Valley Shiraz, something like that, for an Australian reference there. I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen.
I need to find space for GodsB, who, for now, has actually been parked on low ground.
Well, NoSmite's going to be able to grab the Goomba Stomp kill onto effect. That's definitely good news.
No pressure onto GodsB. So for now, he's at least zoning them off the point. Anna doesn't even want to poke her head out.
Certainly can't, actually. GodsB really keeping him pinned.
This is the sort of stuff we saw from EnVyUs previously on King's Row, where they were very disciplined with staying out of sight lines and also controlling the cart.
Okay, wow, that Discord Orb not quite enough, as there's the kill. Effect easily takes down GodsB, who had absolutely no health, but that doesn't seem to matter. The front line now dead on the side of EnVyUs and X6, looking to try and make their mark. ChoiHyoBin takes down Chips, but HarryHook and Taimou have at least traded back for the supports. Effect on the respawn is going to come in and once again take down that Tracer battle, but NoSmite just feels unstoppable. He's so incredibly low, though, and that's Effect also falling down, but his recall timing is impeccable as usual and doesn't even need the Pulse Bomb.
HarryHook even open on the Soldier, which we didn't mention, but it's a pretty common thing. So a Lucio-less comp from EnVyUs, one of the few teams to do that. GodsB's controlling the checkpoint right now. EnVyUs need to look for a formation to contest this.
Yeah, hopping back onto the Soldier and really making this one work. As Mickie jumps forward. Okay, looks like this will be the cap.
Wait, here we go, Soldier.
Yeah, Tac Visor comes in. ChoiHyoBin is going to be demacked, but there's the sound barrier, and that's going to mean that the Soldier is most certainly dead.
And they've desynced quite a lot here. It's actually going to go straight on to point B.
Yeah, looking for it. Okay, barrier does go down as Coco's going to get just pulse bombed. It's GodsB that falls down to affect one, though, on the backside.
And now they have to pull out. So they looked for the snowball capture because they had 3 dead, the team EnVyUs, but X6 have to pull out the moment that GodsB is the first one to fall. I want to talk a little bit about these Lucio-less comps because EnVyUs is the only team to really experiment with this. They have the lowest percentage of Lucio, probably in pro play right now, but definitely in Apex. Only 76% for a hero that has 92% selection in Apex and even higher in some other tournaments. Usually it's defense on King's Row, for example, where HarryHook has always flexed the Soldier. But doing it in this scenario on Temple of Anubis is something different. Relying on the healing from the hacked health packs and that healing station.
Well, GodsB's going to be able to take down effect here as he throws down the Tac Visor. EMP comes in. That's going to mean Mickie falls as well, but the self-destruct is going to be able to pick up the Zenyatta somehow. Mickie just seems to find all the kills.
5 for 1.
Comes in from TimeBoy. And this could be it. X6 on the attack. They're trying to hold this one. They've already got 1 tick. Make that 2 as it's ticking back up. EnVyUs trying to get onto the point as Taimou is here. HarryHook down very, very low. Gets that Wraith form out, but more time is being bought.
And a boost put down already. They're trying for the defense, but 2 already dead. Tracking the visits, Wraith form here with the nano boost. Reaper hasn't got any value yet, but has to drop off again and can't do anything, can't contest the point. And an even faster capture for X6.
Yeah, we thought that EnVyUs really had the quick cap. X6 answering back so well, and their attack on Temple of Anubis has improved exponentially, Papa Smithy, since the first time we saw them.
Didn't need to involve the Sombra at all. EnVyUs went creative for their defense, but honestly, so did X6, we remember, with the Orisa Widowmaker. This time, it wasn't King's Row. It was actually on the Temple of Anubis. They went high on the DPS defense, having HarryHook on the Soldier, but it didn't pay off. Not like the Widowmaker was the one to punish it, but eventually on the second attempt, they were able to push in, and apparently X6 liked what they were running in the first map. They delayed so much, and with only 1 minute 47 left, BeBe pops onto the Mei, boosts up the Orisa, and we'll go back and change.
Well, only 1 minute 47 for EnVyUs to try and cap this one out in comparison to the 4.5 minutes that X6 will have when it's their turn to attack.
And this is definitely GodsB being ultra set up to win the Widowmaker battle. Taimou loves opening Widowmaker on attack on Temple of Anubis, but when you have a barrier and a Pocket Mercy, you're pretty much set up to succeed.
Yes. Well, you certainly can't just shoot through that barrier with the first go, so ChoiHyoBin will just chuck that one down, and it's absolutely fine.
33% reduction in barriers is very significant.
Yeah, that's huge.
People looked at the damage and they thought that was big. It's not, as the barrier's still there, Taimou, sorry.
Just scouting the comp there as well, so still useful, kind of like a Sonic Arrow would be, but he still has to waste some time to get back into that spawn as he heads once again out on this Sombra. Effect going down low, but eventually uses the recall.
He's traditionally been winning these Tracer battles, which can be so significant when it comes to scouting out the right side of the attack on Temple of Anubis.
NoSmite taking some decent damage there, but GodsB's going to take down Chips. HarryHook's going to go as well. And EnVyUs not going to be able to continue this push without any of their utility.
The fact that Effect couldn't win the battle between Tracers means they haven't been able to contest the Widowmaker like they could before, so it's been largely just free shots for GodsB.
Yeah, Hack does come in though. So now GodsB still looking for these picks. They can't quite find the targets, however. That's going to be Mickie looking to get rid of him. Does find the kill, and EnVyUs storming through on this first point. Is this going to be the opportunity now as ChoiHyoBin with this big Gatling gun? It's just going to fall down.
Buying time was the best you could hope to do. De-meching Mickie, not going to be a big win either. Some kills traded on the side as somehow GILY takes out Taimou without a boop. That's interesting, but EnVyUs want more. They're going to be going for the same sort of snowball capture. They only got 55 seconds in their bank.
Well, Effect looking to go down this left side through the catacombs once again.
Good ult lead here for Team EnVyUs. They should have Transcendence very soon. That's the big one. Doesn't require an eco push, just a headshot. Basically instant procket here for Chips, as we will have that everyone's a Sombra situation I talked about. Well, when you don't have much of a time bank, why not go for a hero that has instant impact and also can very often have the EMP at a drop of the hat?
Yeah, almost twice in a team fight, Pop Smithy.
It's all about the Transcendence usage here, you'd think, for EnVyUs. There's no support ultimates up for X6. Long way away for Lucia, who shouldn't have it unless we have the mother of all contests in overtime. 10 seconds. Now, the reason EnVyUs is waiting is they want this fight to happen in overtime so that the respawns won't come through.
Timou's invisible.
Transcendence popped.
Yeah, there's an opportunity now for the EMP, but doesn't throw it down. There it is. He's going to break all of these barriers. Effect throws in the pulse bomb, picks up the mech, and that could be good enough here. As GodsB, just going to stun and destroy. See you later, Effect, as he's really trying to run around on this cowboy, but eventually falls. NoSmite here as well, but that health bar is rapidly decreasing, and Cocco is just going to punch him in the head.
You can see EnVyUs forced off. There's no way for them to fully contest. Running low on numbers. Nice boop as well. And they just about do it to X6-Gaming. I like what EnVyUs tried. They were cognizant of needing the Transcendence and also wanting to abuse the fact that, sure, capping in overtime means you have no time bank, but we're not going to go to 5 and 6 captures, you'd have to think. So the big story there was if you attack with a big ult advantage in overtime, the respawns are much longer after the patch a couple of months ago, and you're more likely to pull off the full complete. Had the Transcendence, led with it, not quite enough just at the last, and X6 have a very realistic goal. They need to get 1 point and then take 1 checkpoint of the second point B.
And they've got a heck of a lot of time to do it as well in 4.5 minutes.
More than you start with.
Yes. Ludicrous. Absolutely ludicrous. They still have to do it though. EnVyUs once again going for some Prince of Persia fun times.
EnVyUs will not be running the Widowmaker on defense this time. Taimou's been dissuaded off it. Does mean that GodsB will find some squishies to take down. No triple tank or any other hijinks here to buy time for EnVyUs.
Yeah, not going for any sort of defensive triple support as well, which is something that we have seen a fair bit.
Basically, they're running standard that works against anything because they can't really prey upon a weakness, do a rock, paper, scissors, and lose on first attack. If they lose on first attack, this map is probably done for Team EnVyUs.
Yeah. So playing it safe. GodsB gonna throw out an opening volley, but doesn't find anyone. Mickie just gonna soak that
pop
one.
up.
Yeah.
Sightlines as usual. Well held, although.
Okay, GodsB actually taking some fire here, so the Widow not quite able just to get the pot shots that he's looking for. Good defense so far from EnVyUs, not losing anyone with anything too early on, and GodsB actually getting taken down very, very low.
Here's Cocco.
Yeah, it's going to jump all the way up.
He actually is taken down.
Yeah, ChoiHyoBin is going to be able to pick up that kill. Opportunity now for X6 to continue pushing forward.
And nice stuff from Diva and Zenyatta, basically peeling in some ways for the Widowmaker, punishing Cocco for jumping up. Taimou's dead as well. It's 6v4.
Yeah, he's been headshotted. Now TimeBoy just having a field day on the point. GodsB as well getting picks left, right, and center. Effect, he's the only one that's been able to really get anything, but X6 still have 5 members. They're sitting on this point, and this is going to be a massive amount of time to move forward onto point 2 if they can complete this, and it looks like they will be able to. TimeBoy still just harassing Effect.
1 HP for Effect, finally taken down. The Tracer battle wasn't going to be consequential, but this time it's won by TimeBoy, and now the time bank, it's massive.
Oh yeah. 3 minutes, 40 seconds. When at this point, last time around for EnVyUs, it was about 13 seconds that they had moving to this next point.
A couple of different ways you can approach this for X6. They have some ultimates. They used the one from GodsB. He will switch if they don't get it on this particular attack, given that Widowmaker drops off in terms of efficiency, unless she pops off in a very impressive way, and there's no pressure on the Widow.
Yeah, as Cocco is going to once again come in and try and do what he can. GodsB does get a sound barrier to help him out. NoSmite gets through to Cocco. Effect is going to be harassing this backline. BeBe falls to that. Oh god, that was incredible. GodsB gets the pick onto HarryHook. Self-destruct comes in from EnVyUs, and Chips throws down his EMP. Good damage onto TimeBoy to stop that harassment in the back.
Really nice turnaround here from EnVyUs. They are only able to fight on the point. They can't be tricky because they only have one checkpoint to defend. And that's why you see a bit of more beef invested in. Chips will be flexing onto the Sombra, but Taimou is now on Widowmaker, and it's talent comp time, you'd have to think. First step of it coming through from GodsB. Still no Sombra, surprisingly. I can't imagine that we won't see a change soon. Maybe after the Transcendence is down, BeBe will flex over.
Yeah. Could be an opportunity. Taimou's going to switch back to the McCree, actually, as he was on the Roadhog. But
there's a lot of mind games here because he had shown the Roadhog already. He's predicting that there's going to be a swap to take advantage of triple tank, and thus he flexes himself.
NoSmite taking a lot of damage here. As Taimou throws his revolver through. Oh, GodsB! He's going to force out the Transcendence there from X6. As Taimou, decent position now, but he's well and truly off the point. Sound barrier from EnVyUs tries to keep them alive as GodsB falls down. No Reaper to build any of that ultimate, only has 25%.
It's so close to the capture!
Oh, wow. But it is going to be EnVyUs taking control once again of this point, and that is going to tick back down. Oh my god, you're right, Papa Smithy, I didn't actually see that. And X6 really did have a taste of victory in their mouth.
Holy crap, it was so close. You could see some yellow in that white line trying to cover the first checkpoint. Couldn't quite do it.
Did you say it was a peach color, something like that?
It was looking peachy. For X6, not so much for EnVyUs, but they repel it, and of course, all the progress is now worked down, so X6 get another chance to... Remember, they don't actually change BeBe away as Chips is pushing forward.
Yeah, GodsB actually almost falling down there as well. That could have been a huge deal. As Chips gets the focus, he's going to recall his way back. Translocate, sorry, not to get confused.
TimeBoy is on that Sombra, so farming up GodsB to get his ultimate is the big factor. Very difficult to get because you need to get in close proximity to do any damage as a Reaper. Thus, he is getting no percentage, just firing those cannons away at long range.
Well, whoever gets the right EMP, it's going to be quite important here as everyone does jump on the point on the side of X6. There's the EMP from Chips as they're trying to do what they can. Sound barrier from X6 because the EMP wasn't quite in the right position. X6 lose 2. This is actually going to be won by EnVyUs to start things off, but Mickie eventually falls down. Remember, they only need to get 1 tick on this point, but ChoiHyoBin now creates a body on this. Still, no meterage to be found.
Transcendence comes down. They really want to push it. Hack onto ChoiHyoBin. Still hasn't fallen. Now will be demeched.
Yeah, that's going to be it. Taimou, he's reaping havoc on the backline as well. Chips was the one to get rid of that mech. ChoiHyoBin is going to be still alive, though, as Primal Rage gets rid of Taimou Effect, gets rid of BeBe, though. And HarryHook's doing work on the backline as well. GodsB, I mean, it's only going to be Mickey's mech, and have EnVyUs done it? Held this one off against X6. On the final point.
We're trying to evaluate so many alive from EnVyUs. You'd have to think they might have finally done it. This would actually force an overtime map. We're going to actually have to have a decider. It's going to be even if we don't see that checkpoint come in for X6.
It's such a long time since we've seen this. It just shows both of these teams are so incredibly hungry. Another EMP flies out as this overtime continues to get ticked over and over again, but it's getting ever more difficult as it's just a shooting gallery provided by X6 and EnVyUs do get the hole.
That's insane. So for a first time in a long time, we will have a tiebreaker. If you guys haven't watched long enough to remember those, it will just be keep the stalemate alive. We'll be gone.
And it doesn't feel as evenly matched when X6 just looked so good on control when we first saw them.
Mickey's still having fun, still playing around with his alternative heroes.
What do you mean? Torbjorn is full meta.
He can't play around with Arisa anymore because Arisa is meta, we've already learned.
Yeah, haha.
We don't know how much meta, but at least a little bit meta.
It's like, I mean, what are your options now if you want to really troll with your hovers?
Symmetra.
Is it Symmetra?
It is.
I was gonna say Symmetra, but she has been meta before, you know.
And until proven otherwise, Hanzo is still a troll pick. Taimou's opening on Widowmaker, looking for a first pick here. Very respectful from X6. They're waiting for information because they know that Taimou can potentially go this way.
Well, in effect, he's still doing some work here as he is looking
Taimou
for that
GILY.
pick. Oh my god,
GodsB.
make that too. Yeah, exactly right. The picks are there, but TimeBoy eventually finishes him off. It's EnVyUs with the man advantage, though. It's only tanks left on the side of X6, and ChoiHyoBin losing a lot of his health on this mech. Effect gets rid of him. That's going to be the kill, and EnVyUs should be able to get this first capture.
Yeah, so much time was invested to actually take out Taimou. By the time they did, they'd lost too much collateral The tanks and the Tracer able to dash onto the point, affect the first to have Pulse Bomb. And going for the trump card. X6 went super standard. Soldier and Tracer they opened up with. Now GodsB jumps onto the Genji to potentially deal with Taimou. But standard was well preyed upon by Team EnVyUs.
Yeah, that's going to be cocco picking up the kill on a NoSmite with the help of Taimou there as well. He's still looking for these picks in the backline. BeBe survives for the moment, but ChoiHyoBin's doing work. GILY as well. As X6, they've lost 2 and traded for 2 on the side of EnVyUs. Things still going okay, but it's a fantastic boop onto Mickie that gets rid of him. Taimou picks up TimeBoy. That's a difficult shot.
And Taimou keeps provoking positioning mistakes from the side of X6-Gaming. Everyone that dinks their head out to try to deal with the Widowmaker is being collapsed upon, largely by the D.Va and Tracer on the side of Team EnVyUs, and they've already ticked up to 50% here, Envy.
Yeah, the captain really holding his team together on the Widowmaker. He mentioned that the McCree and Widowmaker will be making an appearance. Looking impressive this time around on Lijang Tower as Effect throws down a Pulse Bomb. Picks up the kill under BeBe, exactly right. GodsB though is going to be able to get some revenge for his support. Self-destruct comes in, not going to find any of the luck that Mickie was looking for there. As Taimou's going to fall, ChoiHyoBin cleans that one up. We might have a retake here, possibly from X6, but Mickie is going to answer. Gets the kill in a GILY there as NoSmite gets rid of Chips. Just feels like the supports are falling left, right, and center, but it doesn't quite change these fights' outcomes because it's so messy.
But they're still being delayed. The percentage has been ticking up for a long time there as the darting in and out of the point means that 89% on their first capture for Team EnVyUs. X6, the one thing you can say, they have a big ult economy to be used for defense, but those ults don't really do much against Taimou unless they're really investing Transcendence and the Dragon Blade to push out and shut him down.
Yeah, unless you can predict an instant headshot or something like that. As Chips is going to pick up BeBe. Sound barrier
dies with Transcendence up.
A little bit too late on the sound barrier as well to keep his teammate alive, and GILY is going to fall, so it didn't do anything. GodsB's trying to do what he can, but HarryHook is going to be the one to take him down. Dragon Blade finds nothing, and EnVyUs looking to get the retake at 90% and win the assault and bring this to set point for EnVyUs.
That pick onto BeBe changed the fight. They had so much ult economy, but it ends up being wasted. Has to Transcendence just to get on and contest.
And X6 are getting pushed out of this point as well. cocco picks up one, Effect grabs another. Self-destruct does absolutely nothing, but it doesn't seem to matter. TimeBoy gets Taimou, but once again, he's brought so much pressure for his team, and EnVyUs are tearing X6 apart.
That's it.
The overtime's ticking down, and that's going to be EnVyUs securing the victory on Assault, in what was one of our longest Assault map victories that we have seen so far in Season 3.
And Overwatch very often rewards the bold. It's no longer Season 2 where you can run triple tank into triple tank. The team that gets creative usually gets a big advantage. Way back on the actual Assault map on Temple of Anubis, that was the Orisa Widowmaker Mercy comp that was run by X6. But fast forward to Night Market, Taimou took a risk. He jumped onto the Widowmaker. The opening salvos and all the resources from X6 to shut him down ended up being wasted because they were being caught as they looked for the shots onto the Widowmaker, and then a single takedown onto BeBe after they got 90% of the point. X6 controlled it. They had ults. You thought, okay, this could be them getting their percentage closer and closer to what they need. But dying with Transcendence up, being headshot, meant that he couldn't stay alive. They took down the rest, and now the tactical pause is needed because that was a very, very long assault phase because of the tiebreaker. And now they need to steady because suddenly it's match point, Team EnVyUs.
Yeah, X6 really need to make some adjustments. They're the ones that called this tac pause, and I'd almost respect it from the coaches if it was just to give their team members a rest, because that, as far as Overwatch is concerned, was a long time to be playing, and because it's such high intensity as well, you really do need to try and chill out. You can see the faces of X6, they're feeling comfortable still, but a lot of pressure is now on them, Papa Smithy, to perform on our escort map of choice.
Interestingly, the best escort map for most in recent times for both these teams is Dorado, so we'll see if they maybe buck the trend and go somewhere different, because Envy 1-0 on Dorado and X6 2-1. They've played almost all their escort maps that we've seen since Challenger. They've played 4, and 3 of them have been Dorado. So Dorado has been definitely the consensus pick here. Was not a map available during the Contenders tournament. But that's been the map of choice so far in Apex Season 3. A lot of smiles from the side of Team EnVyUs.
Yeah, Kai there as well. Looking actually relieved after that assault map. Now, of course, understandably, because they are moving towards set point. And
From what I'm told, the air conditioning's better in the booth, so maybe he's just like, oh, it's much nicer in here.
I like to think that he's there to support his team, Papa Smithy.
I don't know, man. No, Kai's done some great work. The scouting so far has been good. The Widowmaker usage, which predictable from the side of Taimou, wasn't sussed out by X6. They didn't seem to have a complete strategy to shut it down, but Widowmaker on Night Market is always a bit of a surprise, given expectations.
Certainly liked it out of Taimou, though. We'll see whether the surprises continue, because otherwise it's been a lot of relatively standard 2-2-2 dive compositions coming out of Envy. No
surprise there, right? Because they're not going to be... Calling it dive also is a bit of a misnomer. Sure, they have a Tracer messing in the background, but they don't have a Genji player.
They don't have the Genji,
You normally need the Genji. Sure, Winston and Tracer are doing their bit, but never going to be full dive from the side of Envy, especially compared to a team like CONBOX Spirit. And usually Luxury Watch Blue, when we see them, we're not actually sure they'll be running Flower or Pine in that match, and that usually does affect that identity a little bit. Both of them can play Genji, though, so...
Yep, good to know that Flower's wrist is repaired, so it will be by choice which one of them is going to be coming in. I believe Flower's going to be starting, but that is still up to the choice of the team. We'll see who it's going to be. But that is our next series, and this one, it's X6 desperately trying to bring us to a 5th game in our final hybrid map. They have to get through Escort first, and they have to make up their minds on which one of those maps they're going to choose as well.
Route 66, a possibility. Dorado, the percentage choice, but for both teams, just kind of puts a big question mark.
Yeah.
And Gibraltar's always sparing, but we might actually see it in our second series, since Luxury Watch Blue took a likening to it in their first series against CONBOX Spirits. So first question, what will be its potential match point map choice for Escort for the side of X6-Gaming?
If they've been seeing the media, they are aware that Mickey's favorite map is Gibraltar, so it's not likely that they pick that one.
I'm surprised by your restraint so far, Atlas. You haven't said Jibby yet.
I don't need to. I trust the chat to get the Jibbies in for me.
I feel like that meme's been replaced by another one, but I forget it as we speak.
Certainly hope so. Wait, how can you forget it, Papa Smithy?
I don't know. It's a beautiful coincidence.
Oh, well, I'll track your memeing over the rest of the series.
Oh, let's just kill this meme with fire. It is going to be Dorado, so we're going to go with the Apex mascot when it comes to these Escort maps. Both of them have found success, but I feel like X6 chose Comfort. As we said, 3 out of 4 times on the OGN stage that they played Escort, they went Dorado. They have a winning record on it. Go for the Comfort. You're going to need it because the backs are against the wall.
Certainly are. Last time we saw this was the first series out of EnVyUs. Of course, they haven't had to play an Escort map since then, having 3-0 victories every single other time.
Much more common. It's ChoiHyoBin's heroics against RunAway on Dorado that allowed them to beat RunAway, holding onto the cart so much as it pushed on to point B. So, really interesting stuff here, and it could be all she wrote for Series 1.
Yeah, so set point for EnVyUs. See whether they can do it as we head to Dorado.
I get it.
Okay, feeling a little bit more even, Papa Smithy. Everyone getting behind their team. Some more desperation on the side of X6, though, as they need to win this to bring us to the deciding map. Whichever one that is out of the hybrids, it won't be Kings Row, as EnVyUs have already found a victory on that one the first time around.
And we'll talk about all the possible permutations about choice in that regard later. Right now we will evaluate the defense from EnVyUs.
Ooh, as it is going to be once again the Luciola's composition.
HarryHook on the Zenyatta, but Chips on his famous Ana, so not as much Sombra from Chips today as Taimou stole that away. What a meanie.
Ha!
I guess it's a Sombra main.
Well, Chips has, I mean, he played it on Temple of Anubis for a bit, and he did look very good. So They've been sharing. There's been a lot of sharing in the NBA.
When you see a Lucioless comp, it's very much about defending one position. You don't have the same ability to dart around, and your tanks especially are going to be more exposed now. Winston and D.Va already have a lot of mobility, so they do free up something like a Lucioless comp, as Effect will just stare at the beach and think about life a bit.
And NoSmite has the best. I feel like Junkrat
NoSmite's
is...
on
what
Junkrat.
the heck? Okay, never mind. We're going for the attack Junkrat.
Yeah. This is really good at static defenses, which when you don't see a Lucio, Junkrat can be very strong. So another curveball, not one I was expecting for today.
Did they seriously snipe that composition that quickly, Papa Smithy? Or had they done their homework just that well on the side of X6? Mickey's going to get the first kill, though, onto GILY. Maybe they've tried a little bit too hard with the fanciness, but NoSmite says no as Mickie loses the mech. And now X6 are fighting back on the attack.
You have to be so careful here when you're against a Junkrat. The spam and the zone control he pulls off can be massive. And we're not in the meta with Zarya being able to just bubble up and get full charge from the Junkrat. You're never going to be opening with a Zarya on defense on this map anymore. And they're getting significant meterage and forcing EnVyUs to react as we have a pause.
EnVyUs are like, who even is that hero?
I mean, Taimou loves playing it in solo queue.
Oh, yeah, but I mean, may have just assumed that it was banned and competitive because we haven't seen it for so long, Papa Smithy.
Somewhere, some of our famous Junkrat enthusiasts like Seagull are smiling.
Absolutely. Well, I'm excited because, of course, Australian pride here on the desk and now on Dorado as well.
We don't have the double, though. We need the Roadhog Junkrat attack for, I don't know what your team comp's doing, but it's got a lot of Aussies in it.
Yeah, it feels like Mad Max.
2 Aussies on the desk, 2 Aussies in the game. That should be how it works,
That should be how it works, exactly. In fact, everyone should be running Junkrat Roadhog. Just let them know. There are 2 Australians on the desk, guys. Oh, my goodness. Okay. So, Pause going to be running down again.
NoSmite, who we have the perspective of. Doesn't have ult first because Chips already has it. Pops the nano.
Yeah, Effect is going to be able to grab the pick onto BeBe as well. And TimeBoy picks off HarryHook, so they trade Zenyatta's.
Here's the Riptire. Doesn't get anything.
A little bit unfortunate. It was exciting, though, wasn't it, Papa Smithy?
You can't help but get pumped. We don't get any Junkrat in Apex.
Oh, damn right.
Or anywhere. Spam so far is still good. He's managed to zone them away. It was only a couple left from Envy after the first kills, and now EnVyUs are just, they feel like they want a tactical pause right now to be like, wait, how do we deal with Junkrat?
Yeah, exactly.
He went to contest the high ground, but had to drop down to NoSmite. Chips will get a lot of nano boost this game because just like Zarya shield, there's a lot of junk damage, I guess you call it, or just useless damage is perhaps the better thing to say that comes through. So healers get their ult very fast when Junkrat's in the game.
Taimou controlling this high ground nicely, has himself the tack visor. GodsB's going to pick off Effect. So
X6 do not have a comp to contest the high ground. They can only really shoot damage up there, or NoSmite can pop up and potentially die instantly with 200 HP. So it's a lot about just firing damage up top and waiting for the side of Envy to drop down, because X6 are very much a cart defense system, not a high ground defense system. Unless...
Oh, not going to quite find the stick there as Transcendence does come out. X6 do have the sound barrier, but GILY's taken out with the tack visor from Taimou. It runs out in the end as X6 invest the Transcendence there as well, just to hold on to this cart.
Somehow, Reinhardt was actually on the high ground. He drops down again.
Okay, interesting one. GodsB, though, is going to get the headshots that he needs onto Taimou.
D.Va does contest the cart for a bit, so it won't be approaching the corner as early as it could have. One final defense is going to be possible for Team EnVyUs. Riptire available. It's going to be used again.
Havoc, yeah, throws
Going to
it
do
out.
some climbing.
Oh, HarryHook going to be taken down as he boosts himself up here as well. Taimou has to run away, but GodsB picks up a tack visor kill. ChoiHyoBin there as well on this Reinhardt, tearing people up, and TimeBoy. This is looking insane from X6. I don't know how this is working.
They're 4 minutes 50 going into the power plant. Don't even need to contest the high ground with all the spam. The spam from the left clicks doing the work for them, trying to chase down Mickie. No one's tanky against Junkrat.
And NoSmite needs... We need to change this text, Papa Smithy.
I mean, EnVyUs are trying everything. They have HarryHook finally onto Lucio for the first time, but it is already on point C. As the time bag is insanely large for X6.
Yeah, power plant, difficult one to push through as they're just going to casually wander away from that pulse bomb.
Who knew that NoSmite, who played 97% of his time, that's a big Earth Shatter.
Yeah, massive. Pulse Bomb's going to take down Chips there as well as Taimou. He's going to fall. NoSmite actually grabs him with the remote bomb. ChoiHyoBin doesn't find the pin onto anyone. It doesn't seem to matter though, as X6 in so much control. This particular map, it looks like Game 5 is well and truly in their sights.
We're already rounding the final bend. This Winston main flexing onto the Junkrats, doing all the work.
And ChoiHyoBin, the Diva main on this Reinhardt, is looking brilliant as well. NoSmite just continuing to deliver what he can. EnVyUs finally grabbing a couple of kills as Riptire does nothing. EnVyUs. Okay, so the cart stops moving, Papa Smithy. X6 still have 3.5 minutes.
And they can also mix it up. You're not going to stick with the Junkrat when the cart is so far forward. They would basically need Reinhardt to inch him forward, and then the dive from the defense would find them in so many different ways. But we just kind of have to take a step back and smile about triple DPS, a player that was 97% Winston, jumping onto the attack Junkrat. And as you say, ChoiHyoBin, who's been Diva only for the majority of his career, jumping onto the Reinhardt, making so much work happen, and now they can just go standard.
Yeah, now they're going to get the first pick as well as BeBe grabs HarryHook. It's a huge deal as they throw down their sound barrier. Attack visor there as well as X6 have a bunch of ultimates that they can use. 3 picks already, make that 4 as the cart continues to move forward. Sound barrier from EnVyUs, but HarryHook, he's the only man standing. That's the team wipe, and that's going to be the full push from X6.
One of the most innovative offensive rounds we have seen in so long in Apex. On defense, we get the crazy. You think back to Luxury Watch Blue, whether it was their body shot, Widowmaker comp, or their triple support comp, but a flex that no one could have seen coming. The sort of thing where Winston's lab gives you no research information because NoSmite jumping onto the Junkrat on offense got them point A and point B on first attempt, and he finally died for the first time just, 10 meters away from the end, jumped onto Winston. The comp was prepared for a lot of things, but not for the super standard that X6 churned over. And now suddenly EnVyUs, who probably were thinking, okay, we got over our hump, 3-1. 3-1's looking a long way away, Atlas.
Yeah, 3-2's looking like it's almost what you hope for this time, because that's a huge time bank in 2 minutes and 40 seconds. EnVyUs certainly an opportunity to push like that as well, but will they do it with an innovative composition once again? I'm not entirely sure. It's looking like triple tank on the defense for X6 though.
Seen it before. Was always the standard defense on Dorado point A.
Means that they at least still have one Australian.
That's true. We never got the duo, but we'll take the one.
Yep.
Usually the way this plays is that unlike EnVyUs, who are playing up at the position where you see, trying to fight because they had no Lucio to reposition. You usually fight after the archway as triple tank, so you give a bit more free meterage to the attacking team before your triple tank can really have the right angles to take advantage of the position. But now they'll poke around, but they will drop back, put up a Reinhardt shield, and try and make it work.
Make a stand, as it were.
Well, they made a stand. They made an impression, at least, that's for sure,
Oh, well,
on
yes.
attack.
Now it's about the defensive game and whether X6 can put a plug in EnVyUs' momentum.
Now, dive was always the thing that undid triple tank, but EnVyUs, if you know one thing about them, is that they never fully commit to dive, so that's why X6 feel like against this opponent, triple tank can possibly be the way.
Well, it is going to be triple tank versus triple tank as EnVyUs. They move over to a Roadhog at their own. Taimou, he's going to pick that one up. Not going to be on the McCree like GodsB is.
In the past, Taimou spent 50% of Season 2 on Roadhog, but big adjustment this season was Roadhog largely dropping out, especially for EnVyUs. Here's the hook.
Yeah, it is going to be onto Cocco though, so he's probably okay with being in the front line. This TimeBoy is going to grab himself a drink and continue to throw these shotgun pellets right in, but maybe it's pushed far enough here from EnVyUs to break through. They've traded at least a mech in, but Taimou grabs the kill. Effect gets a pulse bomb down so early in this fight. GodsB sort of getting things off the back end, but Effect is going to bully him out of there.
In much more simple fashion. We're going to see the last second test to buy a second.
It was close, but no cigar.
Now, we could definitely see a very interesting second round of attack phases on Dorado. Would the double capture dream happen? It's like a double rainbow. We never see them, but the one time you do, you don't forget it, Atlas.
Oh, yeah. I just want X6 to go on attack on Dorado again. I just want to see what else they have planned for us.
Some Hanzo, maybe?
Yeah, is it the attack Torbjorn? Like, I don't know.
Torbjorn, Reinhardt, and Arisa just park the turret on the cart, double shield, see what happens.
I just love how at the beginning I brought up, oh, Junkrat, the perfect one to be the troll pick.
And he wasn't trolling. He was going.
He was definitely not trolling.
The back line. Taimou mixing around as Chips has been caught, Mickie as well.
Well, they've invested the sound barrier, and it's actually paying off for them as well. Half the members of EnVyUs have fallen. Chips, before he could even use his Transcendence, fell down. This could spell success for X6 on the defense.
When you dive like this, it kind of forces EnVyUs to reevaluate. They may even feel pressured enough to change over to Reinhardt to get back to the cart, but it's so close to the spawn doors that for now, they won't do that as Effect wants to get in the back line and sniper support.
Well, Transcendence is going to be able to get them onto the cart here as well, as they have all the rest of the ults. Whole hog going down from Taimou, as well as Mickie throws out the self-destruct looking for a target. TimeBoy's in the back though. He's managed to take down Effect with a really nice stick on the pulse bomb, and HarryHook booped GILY off. TimeBoy trades his life, and we've got kills traded left, right, and center. X6 holding on to ultimates nicely, though.
Yeah, it's a big trade up for X6. They got the first couple of picks, and even though there was some answering, there's another case where Transcendence was used very early just to contest the cart. It timed out, and there were really no tools left for Team EnVyUs. So the delay has already happened. It was, what, 5:30, 5:40 as we got through point A, and now we've shaved 2 minutes off it with 2 good contests from X6. At some point, you do have to start giving some meterage, though, otherwise you will be preyed upon.
They just don't have the grenade launcher high ground harass, Papa Smithy. That's what they don't have.
Do have Effect, though.
Yeah, he's not going to find the pulse bomb kill, but he at least gets everyone off here as Transcendence has to be invested from X6. Cocco's picked up the kill under NoSmite as well, but Chips has died. So what can they do? GodsB's here with attack visor. That's going to be 2 already. Make that 3 as HarryHook eventually gets rid of him. But GILY's going to get rid of Cocco. Taimou falls down to TimeBoy. And X6 once again, I mean, this is 3 holds in a row.
But EnVyUs really aren't giving Taimou much to work with. Usually when you have something like a McCree change, then you need a Roadhog as well. As I'm just saying that point, Effect wins the Tracer battle very triumphantly, but Taimou wasn't getting any support on the McCree and was getting crushed and closed down upon, so he jumps over to the Soldier.
Oh, BeBe in trouble, but Effect does recall his way back. Self-destruct is in there, and that's going to pick up Chips. Taimou actually jumped to his own death, unfortunately.
Free shooting.
Yeah.
No one's contesting the high ground, Atlas, like you were mentioning. They don't have a Roadhog to do it. They don't have a Genji to do it. So for now, just shooting gallery for GodsB.
It was a well-played self-destruct, actually. It meant that Effect either had to commit to getting round that corner onto the high ground against multiple opponents or die to a self-destruct.
Taimou's so far away from the tack visor. Switched to McCree, didn't really have a team comp for it. Now is on the Soldier that fits the comp more. It's going to take time and eco pushes that. Time isn't really what EnVyUs has too much of. Effect.
That's going to be the pulse bomb. Picks up BeBe. He finally finds the Zenyatta and drops down for the kill onto GodsB. Effect taking this game into his own hands once again, like he's done so many times. Primal Rage.
Fine time.
Yeah, from NoSmite just to try and get people off this point. But Mickie, he's sitting himself on the cart. Defense Matrix is there as TimeBoy has to be careful, but recalls his way back.
Even though this is a fight that will go the way of EnVyUs, the cart still has not moved, and that means the respawn is starting to come in.
Yep, self-destruct now from Mickie. How he jumps back into his mech.
But they have to use the self-destruct. They waste a lot of time. The respawns do come through from X6. Almost catch Effect also. It does mean they will have a wholehearted contest before the end of point B because of all the time bought by the divers.
Yeah, double support ult plus the tack visor is a fantastic ult combo as well. Feeling good, RX6 on this last remaining.
We've seen some highlight plays from Effect so many times with the Pulse Bomb. This is going to have to be one of them, but with the Transcendence up, it's so damn hard.
Mickey's going to jump in. The Pulse Bomb is still in hand. Chips actually finds NoSmite. This is important. GodsB throws down the tack visor, but that's the Transcendence from EnVyUs, keeping his members alive. GodsB throws out a Helix Rocket and gets a kill on TimeBoy as well. That is both supports dead. There's now Effect is going to come in, try and see what he can do. X6 members are dropping left, right, and center as Effect looks for the backhand kill. Doesn't quite get it, but TimeBoy eventually falls down. There goes the mech from ChoiHyoBin.
Contesting the cart, but that's all they're really doing here. The respawn and walk back is too far, hoping that the EnVyUs will use as much resources as possible. Some respawns do come in, but again, it's very smart to drop back here. They probably will have to give up point B.
Yeah, and the pseudo triple DPS on this push as well as Chips is going to move over to the Sombra.
They're actually still contesting. Good job by TimeBoy.
Yeah, Pulse Bomb comes in actually to buy some space to get the staggered run-throughs as GILY's going to fall down, but GodsB grabs effect. This could be important as the Primal Rage is there. We do have the EMP coming in from Chips, trying to get some work done, but I'm not sure whether it's going to be enough as X6 have at least bought enough time to get themselves some solidification. And NoSmite is smacking everyone around. Sound Barrier is able to be bought time for as well from GILY.
Hack doesn't actually stop the ultimate from coming through. So Attack Visor was popped by GodsB, taking out though 3 picks, the final ones here, and take out the Diva and the Lucia to finally claim point B.
Yeah, we've got absolutely no space left to go as TimeBoy, he recalls his way back onto the point. Effect grabs GILY though, and makes it a double with the kill into TimeBoy, so they should be able to make it over here.
And X6 are so good at contesting just before point B. This is what frustrated RunAway. EnVyUs still do get it, but with a minute 20 in the timer, half of what X6 finished the map on, they get 1 push to do it. Mickie will have the self-destruct. Effect basically has permanent pulse bomb.
Yeah, that's just what he does. Recall comes in, doesn't find anyone with the pulse bomb.
It misses on that one. So we get to breathe for just a half a second, but we know the action's about to come in. Here's the leap in from NoSmite.
And TimeBoy gets himself into the backline as well, trying to get some damage onto that mech.
BeBe dies with Transcendence up.
Yeah, Effect is able to get that kill nicely, but TimeBoy is still here. He's got the Pulse Bomb ready. Tac Visor's available from Taimou as well, but X6 have a lot of ults available. Self-destruct comes down. Not sure whether it's going to be enough, though, as this is a lot of kills for EnVyUs to get this cart moving.
And now they have to really escort the cart and try to spawn camp. It's still going to be 6 members alive from X6 with ultimates. BeBe dying with his ult. May have wanted to hold on to it anyway for the last second contest, but this is that time, and watch for Chips' EMP.
Yeah, we're
looking for as many as possible. There it is.
Yeah.
Transcendence was used early, though, so it is available.
Yeah, throws that one out and isn't going to get cancelled, so Effect, he's able to pick up the first kill onto GodsB. That was nicely timed after the Transcendence, and X6 throws down the Sound Barrier. BeBe going low, he's going to get taken out, and EnVyUs looking to try and push this one up.
Winston's dead.
We are so close to overtime.
Both frontliners dead on the side of EnVyUs.
X6 still trying to do what they can, and they are picking up the kills now. Taimou and Effect both dead.
And they've
Chips
done it
as well. No DPS up as GodsB. There's the Tac Visor just to put the last nails in the coffin, and X6 looking to hold on and bring us to a game number 5.
We're going to map 5, Atlas. So much stall tactics that was successful for the side of X6, and innovation again is rewarded. Opening the Junkrat on attack from their Winston main. Reinhardt, the most of really any team here in Korea. They're 42% for Reinhardt in a meta where Winston can go as high as 99% in a lot of situations, and Nox, for example, on Rogue was criticized for not jumping on Reinhardt ever. Reinhardt has a lot of synergy with the second Torbjorn turret because the first one was just a scouting one.
Yep. See if it actually gets very much at all.
So it's triple DPS and a Torbjorn on the side of EnVyUs.
Is it almost quadra DPS?
It is almost quadra DPS. I'm willing to give it that.
Haha, yes.
Torbjorn and the Sonebrook stuck in the middle, but when it's someone like Taimou or Rascal, you definitely do think of it as DPS.
I'm going to snap back. I like that turret placement.
Chips is the only healer here. If TimeBoy gets him, this map really starts to go south.
They are protecting him the best they can as GodsB. Oh, he's going to get taken out. This is the turret that does the cleanup duty. I like it a lot. HarryHook standing on the high ground here with his soldier, and they're able to get a whole bunch of these kills. Just so much damage coming out of EnVyUs, and this first push not able to get it done from X6.
Gonna need to see some swaps from the side of X6. Something like Afreeca won't really get sightlines for a lot of the Torbjorn turrets, but might be necessary. Only other approach is to
sitting
go
in the garden.
Yeah, that's true. Only other approach is to go very much on eco pushes, which is a possibility, but doesn't necessarily have reliability. Molten Core's already at 77% of the build-up.
As GodsB taking a lot of damage. He just can't seem to find a place to sit still and fire. High ground being well and truly controlled by EnVyUs.
Turret also does scout a lot, so knows the attack formation on the side of X6.
But here is the dive from X6. They get themselves into the house. That turret not exactly getting the work done. Yeah, TimeBoy not going to be able to dash around, and Effect is going to be able to utilize that to pick up the kill. BeBe is going to be one of his other targets as HarryHook's there as well, doing the work, but you can see it's all about Effect, chasing down these supports, and they will all be falling. Oh, having a field day. Look at the smirk on his face.
It's really cool how they're peeling for both the Torbjorn turret and often the Ana by just having the Sombra patrol around and either hack the Tracer, who's inevitably going to dash in and want to take down that solo healer, or have the EMP ready if they make a full commitment into the building on top of point A.
This is where things get really difficult as well for X6, Papa Smithy, because
More
multiples
up.
available, exactly. So that is just so hard to get through. They are going to invest it straight away. So EMP comes down, Mech is immediately destroyed, and EnVyUs are able to clean up a couple of kills, but they lose Effect and Taimou. That's a lot of DPS, but there are still theoretically 2 available as HarryHook sitting up here on the high ground. Oh, the
Nice
Helix
snipe.
rocket somehow gets BeBe as he was poking his head back around again.
You feel like X6 probably sees that as a success because they actually drew out Molten Core. So one of the ultimate defensive ults is down. Sombra ult is going to be down for, you'd probably estimate, if you're X6, another 20 seconds. So this is the window, opening with Transcendence and trying to take it before the next EMP is left up. They need to make a hard commit, and they need to make it now.
They have a defensive Earth Shadow. No, they don't, because Coco's going to be taken out to sleep. Onto TimeBoy is there, but GodsB's going to get rid of the turret, and X6 should have been able to start this cart moving with a fantastic attack move.
And amazingly, it was the stubbornness of X6 to stick with what they thought would work eventually. They had the ult time, they didn't have to use that many of the ultimates. Only ended up being 2, I believe, invested in the end. The pick onto Cocco was massive.
That was heroic from TimeBoy.
Yeah, just dropping over. In the end, it was kind of a crying use of the ultimate there from Chips. It ended up being onto Effect. It was actually out-dueled largely by BeBe, who still has Transcendence available on the Zenyatta. Chips this time is going to be the one, so we see some flexes. Taimou onto the Soldier. Chips is going to be on Sombra. That means they're going to be going for a pretty aggressive contest of the cart, I think. Chips is already
Recall
dead.
from Effect is going to get him 3. Yeah, GodsB's going to take down Chips, so inefficient use of that translocator, unfortunately, is HarryHook. He's under fire, takes a lot of damage, but does survive. No, spoke too soon.
I mean, when
GodsB's
Chips
gonna clean
dies
him up.
first, they only have HarryHook for a heal, and everyone is exposed because they don't have much of a defensive line when they've gone for this pseudo-defensive dive on the side of EnVyUs, and they're being cleaned up, and the cart just won't stop.
And look at this, yeah, Primal Rage from NoSmite gets completely rid of Taimou.
Someone jammed the accelerator on the cart that was, may not even got off the ground after a really good point A defense, but the street space has been great for X6.
I thought Hollywood was in LA. Apparently it's in Germany, man. We're on the
Autobahn.
Autobahn. We are moving this one forward, but at least the Transcendence is there from BeBe to... No, it is from BeBe. So this is on the attack that they're utilizing it. And it's going to be X6 continuing their onslaught. I thought this might have been EnVyUs' chance to fight back.
Yeah, the perspective there was interesting. Basically, Transcendence was used the moment they sniffed out a Sombra, cancelled anything happening during the course of the EMP, and then they kept pushing because that Transcendence had been held on for so long, looking for that contest that we almost always see at the end of point B. It's not there, and the time bank, which was looking like it would be overtime by point C, is at 3 minutes.
Yep, NoSmite getting himself back towards this card as well as X6 make their way back in attack formation.
A lot of ult economy here for EnVyUs, so X6 need to decide before committing to any ultimates. They haven't seen any in a while, so it'd behoove them to be a little bit more conservative.
Oh, BeBe Effect taken out before he could get that pulse bomb down. GodsB eventually falls as Taimou has the attack visor. Trying to find the targets, but doesn't get any more than that. Mickie taken down very, very low. Needs to get himself a health pack to get back into this fight, but Chips gets rid of TimeBoy. This could be an opportunity despite having HarryHook missing from this battle. Taimou's going to get jumped on, though, as NoSmite once again has that Primal Rage, and X6's onslaught on Hollywood is continuing. As soon as it becomes an escort map, Papa Smithy, it just looks good.
And the Primal Rage,
squad.
the only ultimate used there, bought them the cart, finally pushing further. And now we're going to need to see some great ult usage. He's going to be the first one. It's EMP time.
Yeah, Chips jumps in.
Transcendence gets off again.
Yeah, another time. They get sound barrier in the end as well. No, that's EnVyUs. They throw that one down. GILY was taken by Effect, so this could be good news. EnVyUs still trying to get the kills in, but ChoiHyoBin's there with the kill under Cocco. Finally, EnVyUs getting some kills on the board, and Effect just cleaning up what he can. ChoiHyoBin is going to be left for dead, and Taimou eventually Helix rockets him because he's feeling angry, I think, Papa Smithy, because this cart has made it a long way for X6. Still 120, so not a massive amount of time left to push this one to the last point.
Not really too many ults apart from attack visor to do it. No Transcendence to buy time either. I have to compliment BeBe, who keeps predicting or having communicated the timing of the EMP and casting it early. And speaking of EMPs.
Yeah, it is going to be used, and that's 2 quick picks out for EnVyUs. Taimou with the attack visor doesn't actually need to use it either. As the mech falls, cocco grabs the kill into GILY, and X6 need to try again. It's going to leave ChoiHyoBin with the difficult decision of, do I switch back to my mech and give up all of my
He's being
ult
greedy
charge?
here because he has the ult available, just wants to die or build it up again. EnVyUs are happy to wait, but if they don't kill him, he will have it very soon. Yeah, so you just don't really, I mean, that's the only ult you have to buy space for GodsB to get value. That's why they do not consider the switch over.
Yeah, he's going to jump back in his mech as well, so holds on to that self-destruct. It's good news for Taimou. Bad news for him as TimeBoy picks him up. He is going to trade his life, and GodsB, he's now able to wreak havoc.
That visor's down now. This is just the tracking here as they're taking down cocco as well. Finally, the cart starts to push. Still tools available, and very soon an EMP from Chips.
Only 5 seconds to go, though, before we hit that overtime as EnVyUs, with the defender's advantage, should have an opportunity to still reform and get themselves back in. Multiple picks are going to be needed from X6 as there's the self-destruct to buy the space. Overtime continues to tick down. Effect is going to be taken, though. Mickie loses his mech. This could be it for X6 as they push forward. Sound barriers down from EnVyUs to get them onto this point, but it's answered by X6, who've only lost BeBe. X6 now picking up the kills that they need to move this cart onto the point. It's in overtime, but it's still looking good.
Here it is, they full push it, and having the 2 supports ended up being the difference. Not having both Transcendence and Sound Barrier meant that when there was the double support ultimate up, they staggered them, they managed to finish the push. The EMP was not enough despite being up. It felt once again on command, and X6, it looked like it was not going to be the full push when they took so long to take down point A. They set a target. They basically say, EnVyUs, if you can get this going, if you can keep it pushing, you probably will win, but you've got to go all the way.
And we've seen the defenses at the end of Hollywood as well last so incredibly long. X6 did a brilliant job making sure that they cleared it all at the same time. The coordination, I mean, we've had some question marks, Mighty OD being the spectacular failed attack at the very end, but certainly wasn't the case for X6.
The amount of times they got Transcendence off a millisecond before EMP would have wrecked them, because obviously a Zenyatta dies instantly to a stiff breeze if he cannot fend for himself with the Discord Orb or Transcendence after being EMP'd. There is that goal state. They are able to finish this with anything in the time bank. They will get at least a minute to push, and thus will have a significant lead. It took X6 a long time. They toiled on point A, but the Streets phase was among the fastest we've seen. It was some speed stuff right there.
Yep, the Autobahn was certainly in effect, even if we're in the wrong country. EnVyUs now thinking about what they want to build as far as composition on attack. We won't know for the moment.
Wonder if Taimou will road test the Hanzo. There's a possibility he goes for it here. We remember it was triple tank on defense. So far was employed once by X6, and guess who's good against triple tank? It's definitely the Hanzo.
Yeah, the ultimate actually pretty useful on some of the points when you're attacking first up, but I think we're looking for a Sonic Arrow to work out what this composition is out of X6.
That will be the swap. Onto the Reaper. Okay, so they're going for the Talon attack from the beginning. Team EnVyUs.
Don't want to waste any time with anything else. Taimou can get himself around here quite sneakily. See whether he's actually been spotted just yet as Chips just going to try and build some ult charge, hacking some of these health packs from around the back.
He really wants to hack the small pack here. He'll get it. That's actually really big. No defense into the house to get that small pack.
Look at how aggressive this is from Taimou as well. Immediately turning up. A lot of damage onto these tanks as he race walks his way back out, but X6 is the ones picking up the kills. It's just not enough from Taimou on this Reaper to really get much done. Chips is trying to save it as Effect recalls his way back. He builds up the Pulse Bomb, but really can't stay in here with so many of his teammates still walking back. Pulse Bomb comes in, but it's eaten. Defense Matrix may have had a range a little bit longer than what Effect was expecting there, because that was right on the edge.
Does also allow X6 to get their respawns off. Hacking that pack was probably more than expected from Chips. He hacks the pack on the other side of the approach to point A. They will not be diving the house just yet. EMP is up.
Gets into the house,
Murder house.
utilizes it. See whether he's actually going to be able to get the kills though, because so far not too much happening. They trade 1 for 1 as Cocco grabs GILY, but HarryHook's going to fall down as well. Lucioless is everyone as these trades continue. Taimou falling very early once again. He's got a nano boost onto NoSmite. Trying to move himself forward, but EnVyUs lose 3 and X6 hold once again.
It's pretty much the same sort of result we saw when X6 was on the pushing phase, but by now they had their ults ready. We're looking at chips to build up the EMP, and they can go for the combination of EMP and also the Death Blossom, which has been really the cornerstone of this Talon attack.
Yep, very, very close to it is Taimou, despite the fact that he's fallen down pretty quickly.
It's Chips that needs to hurry up on the EMP, but that's usually very possible.
Yep. I feel like 10% on Death Blossom is about the same. ChoiHyoBin is going to lose the mech. This is actually a huge deal as it is going to be the sound barrier coming in, but ChoiHyoBin does get the self-destruct kill onto Cocco.
But there's now not as much latitude for there to be defense matrix for the inevitable Death Blossom. We're waiting for it.
Yeah, it does come in, but we don't have the EMP just yet. Chips is so close, but he's taken down by BeBe. Death Blossom comes, whoa, it's available, but Taimou's life is not. That is even more space bought for X6.
So the fact that he could get remeched and not taken down, was at about 200 health, re-healed up. They need to find a way to take down this D.Va and stop her from ruining the day, or have them get the drop specifically with the Sombra. But X6 have been so on point at denying EMPs. It's going to be a difficult one. Chips has to pull a rabbit out of a hat. Atlas.
Yeah, well, he's trying to get there now as NoSmite types really far forward. We're going to try and disrupt what EnVyUs is doing because it's so important for them to be coordinated. And when they lose these key members early on in these battles, they really do just need to get the heck out of there. And Mickie, he's going to lose his life as well. The rest of EnVyUs know that they don't have very long to get this working. In effect, a staggered kill like that, that is not what EnVyUs need.
And now there's so many different ways to approach this if you're X6. You can push up, try to get a pick before the approach, and maybe you thwart it. You can also really divide up your threats because you know 100% what is available. At minimum, the Reaper and the Sombra ults. Chips needs to catch 3 in this ult. Even if the D.Va's alive, it ruins all the hopes. There it is.
Yeah, that's going to be EMP as Effect is able
He slapped!
Oh my god, it happened! Taimou unable to utilize it. He throws down the Death Blossom late, but he's dead.
Very, very low.
Oh yeah,
least.
very,
He's not
very low.
taken
He
down.
actually went down to 0, but then eventually falls. Overtime has ticked in. Chips is now in the house. Self-destruct comes down. It's going to be no kills available. TimeBoy so close to having that ultimate. Now wants to try and get onto that point and get EnVyUs off it as they're looking to try and tick this one up. It is moving almost up to the second tick. But to push this the whole way with so little time available to them will be so difficult. However, they're still on the point.
Yeah, it looks like they will finally get it at least. It looked like it was thwarted by the sleep dart as well. Second contest.
Yeah, and ChoiHyoBin, he gets back onto the point as well, so that's so much more time that they bought. With D.Va able to do so much, the recall comes in. Taimou now building up his Death Blossom once again. EnVyUs do eventually get that push in. 2.5 minutes to make it all the way through the streets. And for EnVyUs' sake, I hope it really is an Autobahn.
It's a surreal that we have another series after this one, Alice. This one has gone and taken so many different twists and turns. The sleep onto the Reaper before Death Blossom looked like it would ruin the day of EnVyUs, but they attacked the point in all the kerfuffle. They were able to claim it just in overtime. And that's all they're looking for. One more claim here is, well, it's a nano-boosted monkey.
Yeah, that is a nano monkey. Gets booped back, but is going to be able to cause a bunch of disruption. Effect recalls, but is tracked actually by TimeBoy. Knows that he has that skill advantage right now. Okay, ChoiHyoBin takes down Chips. We saw that for a split second as NoSmite was eventually dealt with. ChoiHyoBin playing with this. And look, honestly, X6, they're utilizing these ultimates because they know they just need to stop this for moments. Exactly. They're trying to stagger as best they can, but EnVyUs, they throw down their sound barrier as well. There's the EMP as X6 have no use of their abilities, and Mickie is able to go ballistic with none of that defense. GodsB has his Dragon Blade now.
Not the time for it, though.
He's on the Genji. Yes, he's certainly on the retreat. Cocco's doing what he can to get rid of him.
That does mean the cart will continue to push, and for now, GodsB's very out of position. Found a big pack, and eventually will regroup with the team, but it's going to be another one of these final fights as Taimou's looking for a sneaky spot for the Death Blossom.
If he isn't spotted out, this could be a good opportunity.
But now he is unspotted, as far as we can tell.
Yeah.
Well, he starts shooting shotguns. Here he is.
Yeah, there he is. Drops over the side. But the bionic grenade was fantastic.
And he was also
on the side
eaten
of
by
BeBe.
the Diva as well.
Oh, God. Just not exactly what you want, but it's fantastic reactions from X6 that we need to be focusing on. Taimou is dealt with, but EnVyUs still fighting. Good reflect from GodsB keeps him alive. After that, Dragon Blade did a fair bit for X6, but EnVyUs was still winning that battle quite nicely as they're pushing this one so close to the second point.
It looks like they're going to claim it, though. They've got a good numbers advantage here, but the respawns, because of the position, are starting to come in. ChoiHyoBin has been majestic and holding cards, but I don't know if it's going to be enough.
Speaking of another Diva as well, Mickie on this attack is looking brilliant on top of this card. Throws down the self-destruct there as well. X6 losing people left, right, and center, and there it is.
Still contesting it.
Not quite there. Okay, NoSmite dealt with, and then we make it to the second point. A minute and a half to get this all the way forward. Remember, it was in overtime for X6 as well. This is certainly down to the wire.
I saw you gasping for breath. It must be now, but someone else pops in to contest at the last second. Taimou looking for a tracer. It's very advanced on the pot. We'll just back away. The health pack was hacked, so he'll just get some EMP percentage for chips.
Yeah, thank goodness. It's Taimou, he's going to be dealt with. That's 2 picks for X6, as that's a lot of the damage now gone.
Taimou needed to be pushed up, though, to actually farm up Death Blossom again, so him dying right there isn't the biggest deal. I realize he's probably going to take another push. He didn't overcommit to the push either.
Would you say it was an eco push, Pops, maybe?
Not really, because you're so late in that no one's really in the mindset of farm for ultimates, and Taimou decides he's had enough of the Reaper, going back onto his trusty Soldier. It's most played this season.
Yep.
Big ult economy advantage for EnVyUs, but doesn't always matter. You invoked Mighty before.
Well, Pulsebomb not going to find the stick onto Taimou from TimeBoy. It's away from a Diva, nothing to be eaten, but you still need to hit it as EnVyUs.
This is the push. It has to be now.
Exactly, because we're heading into overtime once again. And that's going to be EnVyUs picking up a bunch of kills. They didn't even need to use a heck of a lot of ultimates as well for this one. This is a huge deal. Primal Rage there, which can be so useful on this final push-in.
BeBe needs to farm up the ultimate. Transcendence could be the real tool to allow some delays for X6's chips. He wants to just deal with the Zenyatta.
Oh, he hops his way back, actually faking out on that EMP. Wanted to stop it, wanted to make him use an early one as the Transcendence does come down. There is still an EMP available. Taimou is taken, and HarryHook's dead as well. EnVyUs, they're losing all of their team members. Double kill out from ChoiHyoBin from X6, and this may have actually won them the set as the overtime ticks down, and X6, the underdogs, take down EnVyUs after 2 clean sweeps in a row against